Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News and your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, September 11th, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with another milestone for Roman Reigns. As of today, the WWE Universal Champion has surpassed 1,000 days without being pinned. Reigns has not suffered a pinfall since losing to Baron Corbin on the 2019 edition of TLC back on December 15th, 2019, more than 8 months before he captured the Universal title at Payback on August 30th, 2020. In AEW and New Japan Strong news, Eddie Kingston revealed on Twitter yesterday that he's tested positive for COVID-19. Kingston will not be able to appear at today's New Japan Strong tapings in Las Vegas as originally planned. The AEW star mentioned that he would be getting tested again in order to see if he can make the Dynamite and Rampage tapings later on this week. And now the latest ratings news. Overnight ratings are in for Friday night's live SmackDown on Fox in Seattle. The show drew an average of 2.217 million viewers according to Spoiler TV, an increase of 140,000 viewers from the previous week. SmackDown also finished on top in the 18 to 49 demographic on network TV for the night with a .5 rating. Full ratings are expected to be in by Monday, and we'll keep you posted on how that affects these initial numbers. With news on attendance, here's Lou Kipilman.
Live attendance figures for last week's weekly televised wrestling shows have been compiled by WrestleTix, revealing that SmackDown was the best attended, with a crowd of 9,814. Monday Night Raw in Kansas City brought in 6,919 fans. Wednesday night's AEW Dynamite and Rampage tapings in Buffalo came in last, with 5,544 tickets sold. For the wrestling news, I'm Lou Kipilman.
Mick Foley announced on Friday that all proceeds from his December 4th one-man show in West Chicago, Illinois, will be donated to Impact wrestler Joe Doering, who is currently battling brain cancer. Doering revealed last month his cancer had reappeared and he'd be stepping away from the ring to pursue treatment. The December 4th show is part of Mick Foley's ongoing Nice Day Tour. Information and tickets for the fundraising event can be found on Foley's website, realmickfoley.com. Turning our attention to Japan, on Saturday Masato Tanaka made the first defense of his sixth reign as 0-1 heavyweight champion, defeating the great Sasuke and Tako Chiba. As I mentioned earlier, New Japan Pro Wrestling held the first of back-to-back NJPW Strong television tapings in Hollywood, California on Saturday night. The group will travel to Las Vegas, Nevada for today's show, and it features a number of international names. The card as currently scheduled shapes up like this: Ren Narita against Juice Robinson, Shota Umino against QT Marshall, Doc Gallows against Che Cabrera, Rocky Romero against Shingo Takagi, Filthy Tom Lawler against Tomohiro Ishii, Mystico and Blake Christian against Mascara Dorada and Alex Zane, and Jay White and Carl Anderson will face Wheeler Yuta and Homicide. Yuji Nagata's 30th anniversary match against the Great Okan is taking place as we go off the air today. It's being held at the Togani Arena in Chiba, Japan. Nagata debuted for the promotion on September 14th, 1992 in Matsui, Japan. He would lose to fellow young lion Hiroyoshi Yamamoto, who would later on become better known as Hiroyoshi Tenzan. We'll let you know how things turned out for Blue Justice on tomorrow's edition. Also this morning, Stardom continued its annual 5-star Grand Prix tournament with a card at the Budokan in Yokohama. As we go to air, the card is still ongoing, but we can let you know about two results in title matches. Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Starlight Kid of Oedo Tai retained their Artist of Stardom 6-woman tag team championship with a victory over Hausuka, Koguma, and Hanan of the Stars unit. And as you just heard right there, in the Goddess of Stardom tag team title match, Tam Nakano and Natsupoi of Cosmic Angels defeated Mirai and Amy Soare of Donna Del Mondo. Nakano and Natsupoi were making their first defense of the titles that they had won 3 weeks ago from Koguma and Hauska. The card was available on pay-per-view and will be available in a few days on Stardom's video-on-demand streaming service. And finally, we would like to remind you that the Wrestling News is now on Twitter. Follow at Wrestling News AV for Arcadian Vanguard's daily wrestling newscast, breaking news, and more. Once again, follow at Wrestling News AV for the Wrestling News. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.